Hello, how you doing? Bruce Almighty with the power sleep of the Bruce. One doesn't one doesn't simply just be the Bruce. He must be the Almighty Bruce for the enforcer. Mm. How y'all doing today? How you doing today? What's up, Josh? AL, Namer, Dardar, Bruce Almighty, Mel. How y'all feeling on this Sunday evening now? Yes, I'm taking a drive to clear my mind. Trying to feel so fun. Trying to look at a woman that's so divine. Woo! Oh man, for the good times. I'm here to give you what we all came to see. For all those people who are anti-gun and black, I got some news to tell you, boy. I got some news to tell you. Hey, yeah, that is true. Oh, my goodness. What did they say? 38 Patriot Front extremists aimed to riot at Idaho Pride event arrested, officials say. 31 in a U-Haul. Smoke grenades, right? This is the reason why my first client, I had to refuse, taking the contract because one, he wanted unarmed officers, unarmed security. No, 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 no. And hell no. At a Pride event? Hell no. Hell to the no, no, no. Do you know how many people tried to harm these people? Have a disdain for them and all the other fuzz and jazz? Do you know? Oh my God. White supremacists who were dressed nearly identical in uniforms and masks did not come to engage in peaceful events, said the local sheriff. Oh, really? What gave you that idea? Let me see. The phrase white supremacist ring a bell? I'm really interested to see if Brandon Tatum is going to talk about this. I'm really interested to see. Since you stole my other shit, motherfucker. Idaho police on Saturday arrested 31 members of the Patriot Front hate group who planned to, quotation marks, riot at a pride event in downtown, I'm not even going to pronounce the city name, of Iowa, officials announced. You gotta look at this shit, right? It's amazing that a car stop turned into more. Members of the group, who all appeared to be white men, were crammed into a U-Haul truck and were discovered when it was pulled over by police who received a tip from a concerned citizen. What's up, Chris? Yeah. The tipster saw the members of the white supremacist organization, which looked like a little army, load into a truck with masks and shields, according to the officials. Do tell, do tell, do tell. And you know what makes it even worse, folks? You know what makes it even worse? Don't be surprised if there's no armaments, if there's armaments found. Very much so surprised. Let me finish reading, folks. The police also found shin guards and at least one smoke bomb that was described as an operations plan, which officials declined to detail. They wore armbands, hats, patches saying Patriot Front, according to police. The members were nabbed close to an area where, I'm not going to pronounce the city, where an LGBTQ Pride event was taking place. Photos and videos of the scene when they were arrested show the members dressed almost identical in khakis, navy blue shirts, beige hats, white cloths covering their faces, and some of the T-shirts included slogans as "Reclaim America." How can you reclaim something that wasn't yours in the first place? But anyway, they came to riot downtown, the police chief Lee White said at the news conference. All have been charged with conspiracy to riot. I'm pretty sure, it's a little bit more than just conspiracy to riot. White said police had received information for days that there were plans by various not white, but right wing, but you know what you get it, right wing extremist groups to disrupt Pride events in the town. Consequently, there was a strong police contingent on duty, and the arrests were made without incident, he said. He thanked the extremely astute citizen who alerted the police about the men. White said he personally did not see firearms, but the search was just the beginning, including at a hotel where the men were staying. He also said local police officials were in contact with the FBI, quotation marks, all day, based on materials collected from the truck. The men planned to riot in a number of locations, according to police. It appeared that they did not come here to engage in peaceful events. No shit. The North Idaho News later Saturday listed the names of 18 of those arrested. Following an interview with White after processing, they are being held, in Touchy County Jail and are scheduled to appear in court Monday. Norris emphasized at the news conference that information was only preliminary and that the investigation was continuing and any other possible activities the groups might have been plotting. Those arrests came from at least 11 states, including Idaho, Washington State, Oregon, Texas, Utah, Colorado, South Dakota, Illinois, Wyoming, Virginia, and Arkansas. Yeah, a bunch of states known for black people, right? That's it for the article. Yeah. I'm going to want to see if Mr. Tatum's going to report on that. I bet you he's going to stay real far away from that shit. And will not talk about the white supremacy issue that goes on and still plagues this fucking country. Reclaim America. What, they were selling Girl Scout cookies at the Pride Parade or some shit? No. They were coming there to do some harm and some damage in the riot. Here's the craziness about this, is that I still get in conversations with people that why you should have guns or why you shouldn't have guns. Why shouldn't you go to firearms training and this, that, and the fourth? Look at what happened here. 31 people is a significant amount of people to be in the back of a damn U-Haul. And out of those 31 people, they're coming from what? 11 different states? Really? I keep thinking these people ain't organized. You keep thinking that everything is good as gold. Yeah, it's up to you to protect yourself and your families, man. I'm just looking at this like the next time with 31 people in a truck, the next time anything remotely like this is going to happen, they're going to be armed to the teeth. They're going to be armed to the teeth. if they weren't already, because of course I understand an active investigation is taking place, so there's only but so many things can be and will be said. And I'm gonna tell you, man, a lot of these idiots are playing for keeps. We have a lot of people who living in their little dream house already. We have a lot of people who take their lives and just squandered it. Okay? You got a lot of dangerous people out there who does not like you because you're black, because you're whatever. You could be LGBT, who knows, Hispanic, tall, short, skinny, fat, well built. There are people who, if they could come up with something to hate you for it, they will. I'm just going to put a scenario. What happened if these guys had all rifles? 31 rifles pointed at you is a very intimidating thing. But yet, these guys who are obviously criminals, these guys who are obviously degenerates, why is it so hard to call them out? And I say this to people like a Tatum and others, to call out the white supremacists. Oh, because we got to understand where the money comes from. We got to understand that there's a failure when it comes to protection, security, policing, that in the last few years, people do not respect nor comprehend. Extended clips. Assalamu alaikum. Woo! Craig Harper. Tipsy Tulips, baby. If you got a sweet tooth, he's your man. Tell them where they can get them the nice pastries. Can't have your biscuits without butter. You damn right you can't. Damn right you can't. See, we gotta honestly say here, in the current circumstances of the world, that we're not living in a good reality. Machismo TV, salute. Woo! You're right, Sean. They don't take them seriously. What? See, this is the counterpoint I would have to say to Branham Tatum, who tries to nullify or downplay the events of the Capitol last year. Well, they all took selfies in there. No, that was random destruction. There was feces and urine in different offices. There was sensitive material in those offices that was pretty much placated to national security. You caused an uproar and tried to literally overthrow the fucking government. Talk it like it was walked, okay? And because they don't take these damn people seriously, you're having a critical failure when it comes to security of a nation, of a state, and over a local jurisdiction. Because I'm going to tell you one thing right now. That city got off very lucky and blessed. Because, as the old saying go, second verse, same as the first, only a whole lot rowdier and a whole lot worse. A lot of people ask me about Suter. I already answered that shit. He was murdered. Next. Here's the extremes of this, right? Imagine if all these guys had what I carried in Iraq on average, 210 rounds, which is about what? About seven magazines? No, it's about, I had one magazine in my rifle, six on my pouches, four grenades, and an extra, and an extra drum for the 249 gunner, even though I was a 50 cal gunner. I don't know if it was by officers. I don't know who, but he was murdered. Don't forget to support the channel, the Cash App, and the Super Chat, especially asking questions already answered or controversial. But yes, we're gonna ask you this question. We're gonna stay on topic today. Here we have a critical failure of knowing how and when these white supremacists, let's call them what the fuck they are willing to do. Mel said, what's funny, they worry about when us blacks have our group meetings, but they be peaceful and treat everybody and treat us like threats. They don't do the same with white supremacist groups. Of course not, because they don't have an innate fear of white people. They have an innate fear of blacks due to racial and racist guilt. See, they live under a law. Shout out to Dardar. You're welcome, man. Shout out to Dardar for the Cash App. Can you guys hear me? Hopefully. I'm gonna really break this shit down to you, right? Because this shit could have been a catastrophe. Because 30 people can roughly be half a platoon of soldiers. With, let's say they would have carried an AR-15 M4 variant. By the way, AR-15 is the civilian version of the M16 and M4. Okay? I'll hit that Cash App too. Your boy need a cigar run. Let's say they would have had 210 rounds, flak vest or plate vests, like I have. What the hell would the police would have been able to do? You know what, AL? A lot of people don't say this about you, but you're really a brilliant man. Because that's what I truly believe. This was the first wave. Shout out to Mike B, Black Line Defense Fund. See, Mike, didn't we talk about this offline? Didn't we talk about scenarios like this offline? Think about it. Let's say they would have hired Black Line Security and we would have had people stationed at critical areas, 2 or 3 together. Not only are they carrying their sidearms, they're carrying shotguns and rifles. Do you really want to cause trouble if you see that type of force being shown? No. No. Mike said, don't forget they pulled the same tactic in Philly a few months ago in a black neighborhood and almost got away with it. Yep. And here's the craziness about it. There's a song the kids like to play. Come to your trap, take over your trap. How the hell do white people come to your fucking city, your neighborhoods, and feel free to wreck shop? Now, I know black people are peaceful people, but at the same time, you got to protect what's yours. And this is the same exact reason I refused my first contract because of this debauchery right here. So many people want to cut you down and try to shortchange you when it comes to securing their fucking lives. Why were their face covered? Their face is covered, of course, because they don't want their identity revealed. You really think if those were black people doing that, their faces will be out in the open? I'm going to tell you, people still have a little thing about this country saying we need to retake it. And see, what you need to do is actually vote these motherfuckers out who restrict your rights to protect yourself. The city was taken to an unknown location for safety reasons, huh? I don't know if they took him off, but that's how they arrested him with the mask on. I'm going to tell you something, Gentile killer. Individualism leads to monuments of nothingness. No individual ever in humanity made it by themselves. Shout out to Mike for the cigar run. Cash. Thank you. Don't forget to hit the Cash App. Salute to the cigar run. I'm going to really explain this to people who don't understand the climate. I'm not surprised to go to a white town with white police officers who did their jobs. Could they have removed the mask? That's the first fucking thing I would have done. First thing I would have done was remove the mask because I want to be able to positively identify you. And that's the shame of it, really, is that if this was a BLM, even though I don't fuck with them at all, if this was some type of Juneteenth thing or one of the black gun clubs marching with arms, you really think they would have those guys masked even when they're arrested? They would have unmasked them immediately. And if you know this is a fucking extremist, you're going to keep them in jail and you better not bond them out because you know they were going to start some shit that would have caused either mayhem, which is a chargeable crime right there. And for those of you who don't know what mayhem is when you lose, a limb, eyesight, or eyeball or eyesight. You can see out of one eye, but you lose one. Such extreme violence. It's a smidget like above the aggravated assault, even though you can use it. That's what mayhem is. An extreme malice of bodily harm without murdering someone. So you're telling me, right? There has to be an answer. There has to be provocation to take the fight to them, especially while you're in the court system. When you know these guys were up to no fucking good. Yep, maiming. That's pretty much what mayhem is. When you maim someone, take away eyesight or limb without killing. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. See, what's up, brothers of love? So you got to look at this, right? You got these groups who are feeling very inadequate about themselves, like I said before, and dangerously, they'll come out and say, "Hey, we want to reclaim America." Like you ever had a real claim to it in the first fucking place, right? And instead of being like, you know what, we had our turn to run shit, let it go. No, we want to go start riots. We want to go start race wars. So what's stopping them from being like the guy in Texas or the guy in Buffalo? What's up, Snowman? Mike V said this is just a test run. The SPLC said there are at least 24 white nationalist QRF Quick Reactionary Force in New York State after after the Buffalo incident. And I was a member of the QRF in Iraq, so I know all about those tactics. Come on, Fox News. Come on, MSNBC. Come on, CNN. Give me that Brandon Tatum check so I can tell you the truth and not just what you want people to hear. Whoa! Don't worry. I'm going to take that money and I'm going to put it towards training for black young men to protect you. You know, the same Negroes that you fear and clutch your pearls and purses when they walk past you and they're not even paying you any mind. You know, the same black men that were the heroes since this country's inception. You know, those same black men you sent to every war, the worst parts of it, and they came out successfully. You know, the same black man you tried to disenfranchise that still saved your ass when it came to the Capitol. Because if you looked at the Capitol, none of the white police officers did a damn thing. It was all the black ones. You know, the same black man you were saying is the so-called scourge of the Americas, but is actually the hero. But y'all don't hear me though. Y'all don't want to hear that. Y'all don't want to hear that. Y'all don't want to hear that. Zachariah. Snowman said, they won't because they're afraid of the goddamn truth. Of course. Of course. And it's funny because I had a good talk with my boy Ali, and people talk about Baltimore. 93 was our worst year ever. When we almost had a murder per day. But yet, when you look at it
And from the hard work of the men and women of the Baltimore Police Department for the last 2 decades, a lot of that fucking violent crime went significantly down. And I was part of the time when we went down to only 180, less than 180 murders, which was true vigilance, true dedication. But yet, you have this fucking liberal government who wants to use these fucked up laws and policies which cripples the black community. Instead of actually saying, you know what, we want to make the community responsible and work with the police. No, we're going to turn them against the police to see if we can snatch up a few fucking easy votes. But instead of making you citizens, they're really trying to make you subjects, subjected to anybody's rule or treatment. And then you got some white lady getting mad at a school, I forget where, Coleon, New York, took the article, and they were teaching gun safety to children, which I'm all for. And because it's a black school with a black principal and a black firearms instructor, and you know, they don't like to see black people when they organized and armed. This white woman who lives in suburbia got a problem. Why are they doing this? See, it's really easy to talk about what I don't need when you have plenty and I don't have any. I'm going to say this again. Y'all need to put that shit in the chat. It's very easy to talk about what I don't need when you have plenty and I don't have any. That's intellectually dishonest, disingenuous, and just downright fucking disrespectful. Very much so. Very much so. How is it that you get to live in a certain part of town that if you were not the race that you were, you would have to live with us? From now on, stop allowing these jackasses to speak in such a manner against you. Do not allow somebody to tell you how you should protect yourself, your loved ones, and your community. But we can have a bunch of fucking white supremacists in a fucking U-Haul. And if it wasn't for that fucking tip, thank God for that person, you would have had a fucking major incident at a pride parade in Idaho. Are you fucking kidding? I'm waiting for it, Brandon. Come on, Brandon. I know there's still a black man somewhere in there. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. If you want to be fair and unbiased, call these fucking white extremists the fuck out. Rain said they don't want to hear the truth, Charles. They'd rather close their eyes and cover their ears or stick their heads in the sand. Keep pushing the truth out there, Captain. Stay blessed. Woo! Thank you for the support, man. Woo! Antonio Labs, how you feeling, bro? Hybrid Ninjas. Woo! It's amazing how we got more Tatums than we do Faulkners out there, especially in these YouTube streets. You got guys like D. Durrell, who got thoroughly thrashed, not only by yours truly, but the entire damn panel. Gotta pay the snowman tax. Woo! How you feeling, Lieutenant? Just to let you know, he was He's a former lieutenant in the Air Force. Good brother, good brother. But let's talk about this shit, real. I'm like, why when I pick a nice parking spot, everybody gonna play their music. But we're gonna keep going through. It's real easy to talk about what I don't need when you have plenty and we don't have any. Very, very true. I guess I'll use that music as my background music for the show. I'm gonna make you think about this for a second. Not only are they gonna downplay this shit, not only are they gonna downplay this shit, it's not gonna get any press. Just like the young lady who shot and killed a guy who was bringing an AR pistol to a party and event. Where was all the news media for that one to prove to you that an armed citizen is an effective citizen? Where was the news for that? She showed the effectiveness of what happens when you're armed, trained, and prepared. She took him down without incident. Nobody was killed or hurt, with the exception of the goddamn attacker. But you got these idiots out here running and tell you, "Oh, you don't need guns. Guns are dangerous." Yeah, to an idiot who don't know what to do with them. But to a trained individual, you can get five headshots with a shotgun, 25 meters, make that motherfucker sing a Frankie Beverly song. Hmm. 31 white men. And see, this is the frailty of the United States. And it shows you how fucking scared the majority of the population are when someone else is actually being given a much more equal platform to compete. You white boys could have started your own company and start planning for the future. But because you're so inadequate, you rather get together in a funky ass U-Haul, God knows, 30 people, 30 something people in the back. Oh God, I know that shit was funky. Just to cause chaos and mayhem when you can't even come together and fucking start up a company, and you could have bought back your America from the Chinese and whomever got stake in it. That's how much of an idiot you are. Well, idiots, plural. And it's amazing. Broken blade. Woo! It's amazing how a black man can't even sell fucking fruit without getting all his I's dotted and T's crossed and left the fuck alone. But you got all these white supremacists who can easily go get a fucking business loan and use that business loan to create havoc for other people instead of building up his community. How about them fucking apples? I think it's fucking amazing how, excuse me for a minute, we're going to go back to that business loan shit for a minute. I think it's fucking amazing how we have all these black mega churches all through America, and you can't even get a business loan with these motherfuckers. I like to quote Dr. Umar Johnson for a second. If the white man is getting his reward while he's still on Earth, if the red man, the yellow man, the Arab are getting their rewards on Earth, and you telling me I gotta die to receive mine, then guess what? That's a religion I don't need. Black people, when are we gonna start our own savings and loans? When are we gonna start supporting our people, our intellectuals, our professionals, our tradesmen? Because guess what? Even the daughters of the Confederacy supported the fucking losers of the Civil War. Oh yeah. You know what's messed up might be? How many black people are putting their money every month into security, into securing their neighborhoods? I bet you 9 out of 10, if black line security was white line security, I wouldn't need a GoFundMe, would I? I wouldn't need help, would I? Because it'd be freely fucking given. This is the reason why it's so fucking important to support your content creators. Because they got the voice and they got the way and the articulations to get our message the fuck out there. Squirrel lion. You know what, Dar, you're right. They got the daughters of the Confederacy. We got the daughters of the fucking trade. Or I like to call it daughters of the goddamn betrayed. Like I told my ex when she's upset about her son and a relationship with a white girl. I said, maybe your son didn't get this information from his father. He might have heard his father say don't date dark skinned women, but he's not a stupid kid. He's smart. Maybe what we really need from you is a better product when it comes to black women. Maybe, just maybe. Because if you want to call it fair and make everything equal across the board, black men have actually become a better product than their own women. Even if it's to our own detriment. Y'all don't hear me though. I swear to God, if you ask me a stupid ass fucking question like that again, man, somebody time his ass out for asking that stupid ass question. I'm not in the mood of suffering idiots, okay? And I got something to say once again to the black men. Green Gorilla was going to do a documentary that was going to uplift and help black men and show the plight of black men. That fucking documentary should have been 2 years old right now. There is no fucking way, with all the money coming in and out this manosphere, that it shouldn't have been happening. He was going to have Dr. T. Hassan Johnson, Dr. Ronald Neal, himself, Dr. Dunbar, Officer Charles Faulkner, professionals in their field to tell you what it's like to be a black man in professional America. And you're right, Dardar. They will support a goddamn female than a brother trying to make them look better. But yet, you got a goddamn PhD willing to put out a documentary to tell our story unapologetically. But yet, not one motherfucker can tell me why you can justify 10% of black boys when they get to the 8th grade can't even read on level. We don't even train our boys to even at least be warriors. Who the fuck would come and combat the fucking white supremacists if they came to your fucking town or city? You made the boys so fucking soft, they would act like the goddamn women and run. That's the reason why I ask every black woman this question. If you love black men so much, why don't you cultivate them? Why don't you give them to their goddamn fathers? Well, their father, so why would you give a baby to a man you can't trust? I even had to ask a 19-year-old girl talking to my nephew, why, oh fucking why, would you argue with your husband if he's supposed to be the provider, protector, and the leader of the home? Why would you argue with him over a decision when after you talked about it, he made the final decision? If you didn't like it, you would still argue with him. Would you do that to your boss? Would you do that to your boss? Well, no, my boss was, I wouldn't do that at work. So why the fuck would you do it when it's important at home? And she had to come into Jesus moment. She had to come into Buddha moment. She had to come into Allah moment. How the fuck black men supposed to build when you melt all the tools out of our hands? How black men supposed to buy houses when you give the money away to the fucking people who are diametrically opposed to them? And I bet you 9 times out of 10, with each one of these white supremacists, I bet you they had a woman supporting their fucking white asses. I bet you they had women support. I bet you some of them were married. I bet you some of them were married. And they were given the full support from their fucking women, regardless of how dastardly and stupid their actions were. Without question, they were given undying support. I remember I was talking to Sister Shonda H., lovely Shonda, and also Shirley. And I told them the truth about how black men feel. And I said, to be race loyal these days, out of the historical perspective, will be the equivalent of me as an officer going to a woman who's in a domestic violence situation saying, stay and work it out, when all you're going to do is get beaten on. And I'm going to let you know, I don't interracially date. I date women in my race. But from historical data and actually witnessing shit from my own eyes, why the fuck should we stay? What are we going to get except your ass to kiss? We can't even get your undying loyalty. We can't even get you to cook. Hell, half of you don't even know how. 2/3 of you don't know how. Majority of you don't even want want our kids and want us in the lives of our kids. Because as soon as you get the baby, you want to bounce. Brotherly Love said a lot of our men are on their way to the abyss because of the feminist women, some of their own violation. Yeah, volition. Yeah. They even have their buffer class supporting them. Right. A lot of the women that support them are actually the ones who go around raising the money for them. They are down for their cause. God damn, that's the phrase that pays today, boy. The phrase that pays. Make sure we got 82, 83 watching. Let's get to 120. There is no goddamn reason. I got over 3,000, thank you, by the way, over 3,000 subscribers, and I can't have 120 people viewing live. I can't get 220 people viewing live, 320 people viewing live. I've even said it many a times. And Shonda probably giggles every time I say it. I wish we could clone women like you. See, it's the one thing I always say. If we had an army of Toyas, an army of Shondas, an army of Asada Muhammad's, an army of fitness moms, an army of Kareem, not Karens, an army of Charles Willies, we would have Wakanda. Hell, we wouldn't even live on Earth anymore. We would have colonized another goddamn planet. Speaking of Shonda, how you doing, love? And give Shonda some salute and some love in the chat too, by the way, because that was a damn good, interesting talk when we had on Art New Styles channel. So give her some love because she'll ask the questions and just want to know, not because she wants to debunk it. It's because she wants to learn, she wants to show, and she wants to teach. But you got goddamn people who are white supremacists who get supported more than our fucking community does itself. Something doesn't sit with me, folks. It doesn't sit well with me. And I'm sitting here drinking Japanese whiskey, and this shit doesn't sit with me. I keep saying that your children and your women are as free as the fear and respect your men can invoke for the longest time. What if those guys would have been armed? Who the fuck would have stood up and fought back the insurrection, fought back the criminal threat? You know what? That's Mike. You were my boy before, but now you're my nigga for that one. If I'd have put up some shit about some Lori Harvey and whatever the fuck Jack Hollow, Jack Sparrow, I don't give a fuck who he is. I'd have 300 people watching me live. Maybe even a fucking solid 1,000. But talking about the protection of the black community, talking about how to keep the black women, the black men, and the black children safe, I'm the enemy. I want you to think about that. I want you to think about that. White people would have supported, would have get contracts. And you know what? Thank God for guys like Shonda, Mike D, guys and girls who are knowledgeable in different areas and aspects. A snowman, a dardar, a namer, a sand dog with his connection, an average Joe with his connections and his experience, an AB Media salute because he's helping me with the website. And yes, I got to compensate that brother very good. Trust me, when we get the website, AB's probably going to be the first person I write a fucking check from my business from. He will be the first. Because that brother's diligence is amazing. What about why isn't it that we can't take a AL Evans and a PK and build up and buy one of these goddamn buildings so they could teach brothers how to become truckers, owner operators? See, y'all don't feel me though. If you feel me, give me a blue in the chat. I'm gonna tell you how my brain works. My brain craves success. My brain craves awesomeness. The way my brain, my soul, my heart, my fucking being interacts with the fucking world. If I go to a wrestling tournament, it's championship or nothing. It does not matter until the man is the man. That's how I am about this business. With the exception of my son, who I will build him to outdo me. As great as I am, that boy will be greater. This has become my obsession. To have not only this security firm, but also the GoFundMe and also the nonprofit. If I live to be 1,000 years, it better when I get ready to see the ancestors and they're gonna say, "What did you do, son?" I made kings when there was no kingdom to start with. I'm gonna say that again for the Negroes in the back who didn't hear me. I made kings and queens when there was no kingdom or empire to start with. Y'all don't hear me though. Y'all don't hear me though. You're damn right. Shit happens every day. This is one of the few times they stop fucking white supremacists and it makes the fucking news. Ray Stone, what's up? You're right, daughter. We're not supposed to feel. We're not supposed to be awesome. We're not supposed to be people of creativity. We're not supposed to be people who can be awesome. See, The one thing about it, I love being around passionate people, driven people, intellectually sound, people with cosmic awareness, common sense. I like that shit. I love it. I want some more of it. See, there's a time when you're in basic training or the police academy when they're smoking you. For those of you who are civilians that don't know what the term smoking means, when they make you do calisthenics for punishment, till the point of exhaustion. And you go in there and you say, you can't break me. You can't hurt me. Give me all that you got because I'm going to destroy it. Whatever happened to that? Whatever happened to that? Whatever happened to that drive to be the best? Whatever happened to that drive to challenge the best? See, I'm one of those guys. Even when I had surgery on my foot and ankle, you couldn't tell me shit. You need help, Mr. Faulkner? The hell with you. I'll limp this motherfucking distance. Are you okay, Mr. Faulkner? Hell no. I'm gonna pick myself up. Do you need help? No, the only thing I need you to do is hold that goddamn stick ready so I can lean on it and pick myself back up. One of the most trying things my parents ever taught me was what I can't keep fighting your battles for you. As much as it broke their hearts, they like, Charles, you gotta learn to stand up for your own goddamn self. They're like, Charles, you gotta learn how to battle back the forces of evil. You got to learn how to become the protector and not the hunted. My mother one time told me there's three types of people in this world. There's the sheep, there's the wolves, and then there's the sheep. Oh, you're either the prey, the predator, or the protector. Somebody put that in the chat. You're either the prey, the predator, or the protector. The three P's of life. If I keep coming to your rescue, you'll never know how to be a protector. Makes you think, doesn't it? See, I'll tell you what this is, right? In my honest opinion, professional opinion. Give me a second. I gotta pour another cup of this Japanese whiskey. There we go. I gotta tell you, one, They're going to do shit like this to calm the masses and say, we are protecting the people. How? When you got a tip and you knew where their goddamn hotel rooms were, why didn't you take them there? See, I've always been telling people you got to have to be proactive rather than reactive. When I coach my wrestlers, I tell them it is a damn shame to be reactive. Yes, your counter wrestling should be always on point, but you should be always on the offensive because that guy goes off of your sheet of music. You're not good enough yet to become a counter wrestler. It takes years of study and timing. You want him to go off your sheet of music. You don't go off of his because he knows what he's going to do. I want y'all to pay close attention to this because if nobody gets prosecuted, that's when you know something jig is up. When nobody gets prosecuted off of starting a fucking riot through a hate crime, that's when you know the jig is fucking up. Mike V said Boston police stated on their first of the month with their first Reaper drone with facial recognition. First local police force to use aerial drones. But guess what? Yes, Namer, Order 66 is initiated. I don't mind people speaking and they have a dispute, but I do mind people who are trying to fucking disorganize the conversation being told at hand. That's rude and that's disrespectful. See, that's why Black Lion is going to team up with a guy like Mike V, and he's going to be one of my lieutenants or captains when it comes to cybersecurity. We're going to use him to be the consultate for us to say, hey, how can we strengthen this security? Because security is not just the physical, it's also the cybernetic. Okay? See, we do something that I know it's foreign to the Black manosphere. It's called networking. It's called why can't we all eat at the same time? Do y'all want me? I want y'all to answer this. Do you want me to tell you the story of the four kings? Put woo for yes and nah for no. See, once upon a time there were four kings: the king of the north, king of the east, king of the west, king of the south. They were always at war with each other. Once upon a while, one of the kings may win a skirmish against the other three. Once in a while, they'll get stalemated. Philip, Redden, assalamu alaikum. Alaikum salam. So one day, a young boy came to the neutral ground where the four kings were meeting. And the young boy gave him a question. Oh, great and powerful kings of the north, south, the east, and the west, why do you fight when you all have equal parts? Why do you fight when everybody can eat? At that moment, all four of the kings bowed to the little boy. Can someone in the chat tell me why did the four kings bow to that boy? I want somebody in the chat to tell me why did the kings bow to that boy? I'm gonna wait. Broken Blade, you or that dude? Broken Blade said he was wiser. His insight saved the king's time, resources, and grief. Amazi said they knew he was sent by a messenger from the gods and he would be their future king. They bowed to him for both reasons. And each king invested time, money, and resources to that boy to be their greater. And due to that boy's ancestor given and God given wisdom, the trade and the prosperity of all four of them kingdoms or empires were insurmountable. No longer people had to fear constant war, constant famine, constant destruction and death. What he spoke to those four kings was not the doctrine of death, but the doctrine of life. These are the stories my parents told me when I was a young boy. These are the stories that shape you. Because out the mouths of babies comes honesty and wisdom. What did he have to lose? He's a poor kid anyway. He doesn't have a kingdom to lose. He's young. If he died in front of those kings, it would have been much more pleasurable than starving another year or two. Yes, the King of Kings. He actually proved that he was a better leader and had better foresight than people four times his age. And the term King of Kings, literally, which comes from Persia, emperor. And by the way, the term emperor was around 1,000 years before Christ. The term King of Kings was in Persia 1,000 years before the birth of Christ. For all you history nerds out there. Think about it. We spend so much time waging war instead of life. And the reason why I told you that story from my childhood was because look at these 31 men. Most likely, those 31 men were probably well off than the average brother. Because they had the complexion for protection, they were going to get some business loans. They were going to get some supporters. If you really care about your people and your race of people, why don't you educate them? But no, you had to go to the common denominator and become an agent of chaos. And I ain't speaking about that nigga Rain. Woo! You said because I'm jealous of you, black man. Hell, in this terms, I'm jealous of you, gay man. We need to reclaim America. If those officials in that township does not convict all 31 of those men, especially with a hate crime, then the jig is fucking up. And I told you first. And I'm going to tell you this one. You're right, hybrid ninjas. I'm going to say this to y'all black people, man. You better be hype. You better enjoy Juneteenth, but you better be hyper vigilant Juneteenth. There better be some armed motherfuckers at your Juneteenth barbecue parties. Because I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to celebrate Juneteenth, but I'm going to be prepared. As super as I am, I can't be omnipresent. It is up to you to protect your family, protect yourself, protect your society. It's up to you to show America. Don't tell me what I need to protect myself when you were the one to put me in bondage in the first place. Oh my God, that don't feel me on that. Give me a goddamn woo for that. Somebody write that shit down in the chat. Somebody write that shit down in the chat. Don't tell me what I can't use to protect myself, my family, my society, my brothers and my sisters and my children. When you put me in bondage in the first place. You're right, Namer. An ideology of hate. See, black people don't come from an ideology of hate. Anybody who tells you you don't have the ability to defend yourself hates you. Write that shit down too, please. Anybody who negates your ability to protect yourself hates you. And I'm not preaching hatred, by the way. I'm just telling the truth. I'm just telling the truth, man. If you declaw your cat, you hate your cat, by the way. If you defang your dog, you hate your dog. Every goddamn thing. Every goddamn thing that has life has ability, should have the right and the ability to defend itself. And what's that white woman on The View who says, well, if black people buy more guns, watch the gun laws start being in that. Why the fuck are you worried? Why the fuck are you worried when you've been protected for goddamn 2,000 years, white woman? Your Gucci booted foot was on our fucking necks along with that white man's. Your lies alone sentence black men to death. And then when you're on your deathbed, you finally tell the truth that the man was innocent. I'm sorry. Anybody that tells me I can't defend myself or tells me how I should hates my guts. You are the bane of my existence. See, black men are like Bruce Banner. All we want to do is flourish and be left the fuck alone. All the fuck we want. When you said stay out of our towns, okay, we built our own towns. We're not going to hire you. Okay, we hired ourselves. When we started to flourish, you came to us to destroy it. You told us we didn't need guns. We'll protect you. Anybody that says they'll protect you but not let you protect yourself, they hate you. Yes, I'm a member of the NRA, but I give them hell. Where were you when black men were shot who were legal gun owners and gun permit owners? Where were you in the 60s when the Black Panthers came to the Capitol? But y'all supported the Mumford Act, right? You go where the fuck you need it. You go where the fuck you're going to be praised. I tell any goddamn body who is in the NRA, guess what? Why aren't you got a black man as president of your organization? The black man's been more patriotic than any white man. If you're truly not a racial organization, why haven't you stood up for black people's rights? Why haven't you stood up for black people's rights who live in inner cities where there's fucking crime upon crime to protect themselves? See, the quagmire truly is, who's worse? The person who cut me or the person who saw me get cut and don't defend me and let me bleed? Y'all don't hear me though. Y'all don't hear me. Hit that cash app. Hit that super chat, man. My philosophy is a little too different than most people. Because I'm gonna ask that question again. Who's worse? The motherfuckers to cut me or the motherfuckers to witness me be cut will not defend me and won't even bandage me up and will never defend me. Shout out to Broken Blade, man. And here it is, right? You'll protect the rights of the Klansmen, but a lot of them Klansmen were too cowardly to fight your fucking wars. Oh, you didn't know? If you want me to say it again, say it again, goddamn it, officer. Say it again, goddamn it. I'm gonna tell some telltale secrets of some motherfuckers. You want to protect the right of speech for Klansmen, but you don't protect the rights of the motherfucking black men who defended this fucking country. I think that's disrespectful for any black veteran for the last 260 years. What, 70? Since the inception of this fucking country. It's amazing how you put us in our worst and we still gave you our best. Come on, Brandon Tatum, where are you? Come on, Brandon Tatum. I'm waiting for you to call him out first, man. You got almost 2 million subs. When are you going to call out this fuck shit? When are you going to call out this fuck shit? South Charlotte Fist. What's up, bro? Peace and blessings and protection. I think it's very funny how we can protect your country, but you can't protect our rights. Hello. Why? Why should a black person fear? Why should a black person fear a white supremacist coming up to do something to them in 2022? I know I made a few new moderators. Get this motherfucking Uber and tell them to get the fuck out of here. See, to tell a person, matter of fact, Dardar, I'm gonna unhide this motherfucker for a second. I'm gonna unhide them. Unhide them for a second. You bitch ass nigga. Would you tell a victim of rape who raped you? Why are you being a victim? Shut the fuck up and get the fuck away from us. Please, Dardar, hide him again. Hide his ass again. Don't you tell me how I should feel if I'm the victim of somebody's hatred. Don't you tell me how I should feel when I defended a country who won't defend me and my rights. That's disingenuous. But see right there? That's the hatred. That's the hatred right there. That's the hatred. It's funny how you would send $40 billion to Ukraine, but you would leave Africa starving. It's funny you can send $40 billion to Ukraine, but you can leave black boys uneducated. That's the type of fucking hatred that's killing you inside. You bastard. That's the reason why. That's the reason why. But yet, when your woman takes you to the cleaners after divorcing you, you come over here to manage to find the black manosphere and want to cry a fucking river. Guess what? I'm going to tell you the same thing you tell us. Hold your own goddamn nuts. Hold your own goddamn nuts. South Charlene said, exactly, bro, Faulkner. These demons refuse to defend black men that fought, that fight and die, defending this country, but will defend these devils that threaten their own or those that defend what they define as home. Woo! See, the problem is when you say certain key words to people, you expose them for the fucking phonies they are. You expose them for the racists they are, the white supremacists they are. See, it's kind of funny because I don't have anything against gay people because one of my best friends, she's an openly lesbian woman. But even she said, I'm black before my sexuality because that's what you see first. See, we call people coming out the closet brave. Notice how black pride came out before gay pride. Notice how they took the word that we said, I'm black and I'm proud, and gave it to gay people. But here's the reason why gay people get so many rights above you black people is because majority of them are white. Where's the LGBT community when they were calling fucking Kevin Samuels gay? Why didn't they come to his defense? When they were slandering that man, calling him gay, where was the LGBT to say, stop doing that? We are not going to defame another man, a black man at that. You were silent during somebody's fucking character assassination. You were silent. As long as you got what the fuck you want, you didn't give a fuck about anybody else. Exactly, Alan. They participated in it honestly. You try to use black men saying we're accosting you when black people are the most fucking understanding people on earth because we understand how it feels to be accosted. It's a man. Imagine this. You can be gay and proud, but as soon as you tell somebody I'm black and proud, they look at you funny. I bet you 9 out of 10, if I said I want to get gay people, LGBT people, Asian people into the paramilitary world, I would get millions in grants and funds. But you tell them I want to change the stereotype of black men from being the thug and the ray ray into somebody in a position of power and a uniform of prestige. That's when the enemy comes. That's when the true faces of evil show their face. Y'all don't hear me though. Y'all don't hear me. And I'm not preaching hatred against gay people. I'm just telling the truth. When George Floyd was being killed by that criminal, because I'll be damned to call him a police officer, he is not of the brotherhood and sisterhood of the fucking fraternal order police, which I come from, who defends life, not take it unjustifiably. I will not call that idiot Chauvin or whatever the fuck his name is a police officer. Because you dishonor the good men and women who do their jobs and their careers correctly. They treat it as such as a duty. Where was the LGBT community for him? Where was the LGBT or the Asian community for Philando Castile? If you see me with my weapon that I'm authorized to carry, are you going to shoot me before fucking having a question? Salute to Rob. Damn, I ain't make you a moderator. Change that right now. There's a reason why I'm getting a lot of moderators because we got to take the trash out. You goddamn right. Where was the NRA for Philando Castile? A legal gun fucking permit holder. Matter of fact, my dude, just for saying that, I'm going to make you a moderator too. So if Philando, who was a legal gun owner and permit carrier, could get shot, where the fuck are they going to hold me? Where's the same smoke, NRA? And you're talking to one of your fucking members. Where's the same smoke? Where are the lawyers who should be with his family suing the fuck out of that police department? As a matter of fact, Hybrid Ninja, good thinking. Where the fuck was that family? Where the fuck was the Hispanic community denouncing that shit? Where was the fucking... So you telling me, as a decorated soldier and as a decorated cop who carried guns for God knows how long, if you see the gun because my shirt may be up, you gonna shoot, then ask questions? But yet, men like myself and Rob, we're going to go in there and do something the fucking officers of the Valdy couldn't. And that's save lives. The teachers even said they're a bunch of fucking cowards. And the Gurkhas in Nepal used to have a saying, they still do, is the better be dead than a coward. How the fuck can you wait and fucking teachers and students, little kids being murdered? Mel said, Charles Faulkner Jr., damn, bro, I just realized something. Next week is the biggest day for men. See how they going to honor the fathers. Shaking my head, a damn shame. Here it is. My grandfather, bless him for being 90, said it best. I don't understand why so many people are anti-gun when it was the gun that saved us on the family farm. If we didn't have guns, you wouldn't be born because they would have put us all in, they would have put my 12 brothers and sisters and my mother and father in a goddamn tree hanging. Any man that has family, friends, or society and don't have the means to protect it is not an efficient man at all. If I still got to worry about white supremacists showing up in a U-Haul, then I still need a fucking gun. Several. If anything, a shotgun on my back, a rifle in my hand, and a drop holster on my fucking hip. A fucking rifle in my hand, a shotgun on my back, and a pistol on my fucking drop holster hip. I'm sorry, I don't preach hatred. I preach self-preservation. Even the Dalai Lama said if someone's trying to shoot you with a gun to harm you, it is reasonable to attack them back. Hey, Rob, only if you want to, but guess what? The one thing you should have off duty is a pistol and several magazines. I carry no I carry no less than three. One with the weapon and two in the pocket or wherever else I have my my magazines. And I still carry a knife. I try my best to leave nothing to chance. You already modded South Charlene. I just modded you. Be easy, that dude said. If white supremacists are coming at you with knives, guns, grenades, smoke bombs, tanks, drones, helicopters, etc., it is reasonable that you should at least have a gun to defend yourself and your loved ones at minimal. I even said, how the fuck do people in New York allow your fucking government to say we need to ban body armor? When do the criminals listen to the law? When do the criminals listen to the law? Hit that super chat. Hit that cash app, man. 2Trib, thank you, man, for the cash app support. See, I want people to actually try. When we do the return of the Black Police, Military, Correctional, and Public Safety Conference on my channel, come on, Rob, you got to come with us. The protectors need to speak. South Charlene said, I teach my students that self-defense is not only your right, it's your obligation. Facts. Be easy, that dude said, those gun laws only disarm law-abiding citizens. Facts. Let me know the date. I will let you know, Rob. 2Trib said, my grandmother was nice with a rifle. We can still carry a gun in NYC despite the strict requirements. What you need to do is to get a black fucking caucus together and say, look, and tell them Hispanics as well, look, we got to protect ourselves. If you want the black and brown vote, you need to get the fuck out of here and reverse some of this shit, or you're going to be voted out. See, I can't stand the fact that you're not allowed to be men and women who protect themselves in their communities. There's some shame in that. No man is supposed to make you ashamed of doing your duty for God and country and family. You're right. Koreans on the roof were shooters in the LA riots. Mike V said, watch out for the new tactics. Vehicle-based attacks will be on the rise with recent legislation passed giving conservative citizens the ability to run over minority protesters. You know, they created a round for that. They called it the Beowulf and the 300 Blackout. And you telling me them Koreans were ex-Marines on Raw Mash? I keep telling you, a black man or a black woman who can't defend themselves, what good are you? Soul Korean Marines. But yet, imagine black people would have got on the roofs of their building, and start having guns pointed at people. They would have fucking carpet bombed that fucking block. But of course, they're going to fearmonger because the one thing they don't want is an intelligent, confident, competent, skilled black man with a firearm. They couldn't have a motherfucker up like that, like me up there, and they're going to tell me, what the fuck do you know about firearms more than me? What the fuck can you tell me? I wonder, you want to change the age of firearms, but it's okay for a 17-year-old to kill or die for this fucking country. Make that make sense. Why don't you actually arm the people so we can protect each other? You're right, sis. You're right, truth. Got money for wars, but you can't feed your own paws. There's so many poor fucking people you can't even fucking defend or feed. Now make that shit make sense. Exactly, be easy. How many? There was only one motherfucker in the past 5 years, and that was the former Maryland Lieutenant Governor, who was a lieutenant colonel in the Army, who was the highest ranking person in an elected position in the military, both as a lieutenant colonel and as a goddamn lieutenant governor. Anybody who don't tell you to defend yourself, they some fucking clowns. Hold on for a minute. Think about that. And you make up a good point because that might be the next thing I speak on. The Taiwanese government is helping to arm its citizens and teach them about how to safely and effectively operate firearms to protect themselves against the Chinese. But you got motherfuckers here who armed the Taliban who wants to get rid of your guns. Make that make sense. South Charlene said, aside being proficient in firearm usage, black men should be proficient in knife fighting, stick fighting, ground fighting, and the usage of attack dogs, protection dogs, and quintessential warriors, i.e., quintessential warriors. Facts. Believe it or not, South Charlene, back in the day, to get your merit badges with the Boy Scouts in the 60s, you had to be proficient in boxing, wrestling, judo, stick fighting, knife fighting, swordsmanship, and marksmanship. And this was just the fucking Boy Scouts. This was just the Boy Scouts. See, to be a full rounded man is to also want peace, but also be prepared for war. I'm going to say it again. To be a full rounded man is to want peace, but also be prepared for war. I'm sorry. I'm not going to tell you to be a victim. I'm sorry. I'm not going to tell you to be somebody you should wait for the police. If somebody's breaking into your house, you got to get to the phone first. For many a times, I felt better when there was a shot suspect who was either dead or held at gunpoint when I got there versus a, a fucking crime scene where a fucking single mom or a dad or the kids are mutilated. Even Megan Good said, hey, due to all the home invasions, I had to get training and I had to get a gun for protection. Be prepared for war at a moment's notice. Be preaching to live and die for your purpose and beliefs. Shout out to Rob Marsh for the $2 super chat. Well, it was Arn Anderson who did the spine buster DDT. The Ric Flair had to put you in the figure four. Well, but I get it. Think about it. You take collegiate wrestling. I've even told people if I was in charge of the defense tactics of the police department, I would revamp it to basic boxing, basic wrestling, basic ground fighting. When I mean basic ground fighting, either you're on top or the bottom. And if you can't get up from top, you're choking or you're tearing or ripping or breaking whatever you get a hold of. I'm not teaching you to fight fair. Self-preservation is a preservation against all. Of course, without the help of the black man, America would have lost wars. How the fuck you think we took over Texas? We would have took over Mexico if we really wanted to. Think about it. If I'm gonna tell you one thing about collegiate wrestling, it lets you dictate where you want the fight to go. Basic boxing, because you learn how to strike correctly and efficiently. Basic wrestling, I could take down a guy minimal minimal strength and minimal effort. Basic ground fighting, to know not how to get your ass stomped on the ground and to get up, or if you can't get up, to choke, tear, rip, or break whatever you get a hold of. That's my philosophy. Well, your philosophy is violent. Exactly. Now you get it. Yeah, broke genius is kicking them in the ass. If they would have took over Mexico as well. We probably had it. We probably would if they would have took over Mexico. We probably would have had like 60 states because you know damn well they would have split that motherfucker up. We probably would have reached all the way to the bottom of fucking South America if it was up to them motherfuckers. Nope, don't fight there. I don't believe in fighting fair, especially when my life's on the line. Tell you, when I was out there in patrol on the streets, I carried about 3 knives on me. If I had to protect my gun, I'm gonna treat you like a pincushion. Oh, you're not like that. Yeah, okay. Let's find out. I'm gonna tell you. I'm about to go get something to eat. I'm gonna leave you with these words, folks. Go get your training when it comes to firearms and hand-to-hand combat. Do you love the white people? Oh man. Why is it that when you love your people, that automatically makes people think that you hate them? I don't. I don't hate white people. That's your answer. We love you just as much as you love us. That's your answer. And we probably got more love for humanity than you do. But I'm going to leave you with this. One, Jersey J. Color is irrelevant when fighting for freedom. God bless America. Yeah, if that was true, then guess what? Then you would be fighting for our freedom. Let me ask you this one, Jay. Jersey J. Are you going to fight for black people when it comes to reparations? Are you going to do that? I want no, unblock him, unblock him. I just want to see his answer. Are you going to fight for us when it comes to reparations? Come on, Jay. Come on, Jersey Jay. Are you going to fight for black men and black people to get reparations? If you really believe that color is irrelevant, then are you going to fight for us to get reparations? Because I notice y'all don't want to answer that question because you know what the fucking question answer is going to be. And I would have let you just been blocked, but I really want. Are you going to fight for black people to get reparations? Yes or no? Have mine. I got yours. Okay, there you go. But I'm going to end it off with this on a high note. Go get hand to hand combat training, basic fighting on the feet, takedowns, throws, ground fighting. Get your knife fighting, your stick fighting, get your firearms training as well. Most importantly, don't forget to get your emergency medical training, such as bandaging, dealing with gunshot wounds, when people need CPR, AED training, tourniquets, and so forth. Till next time, live, love, train hard, but always be ever vigilant. Woo! And I'm out.
Woo!